right, today we are going to be coloring in this India ink drawing that I have done on a cold press watercolor paper with soft pastels, the Rembrandt version right now. And we're also going to be using a piece of sandpaper and a dry brush, clean dry brush, but that's all right. So what we're going to do, this helped me alleviate taking the pastel right to the paper and coloring it in and kind of having difficulty with that control. So what I've chosen to do is I take the pastel and I actually put it on, let me move this over here. And I take the end and I just do we'll just do a little bit of green here, right? So that's going to be our color, and that I might do a little bit more here because I have a feeling we're going to be using this color. The other color I'll be using is this sage green and darker. Okay, now we're going to get into some browns. We're going to keep this pretty neutral today, so we're going to go kind of a dark brown and a bunch of beige. Maybe some gold. And these will all be tones of the trees, possibly the mountains. We'll go with some yellows, yellow ochre. I know we probably have it up there, but I use that all the time. So, all right, I think that's good enough for right now. So I'll put that off to the side and bring back our painting. All right, I'm gonna move this out so that we can kind of get, all right, so let's kind of maybe start with some branches, kind of go in the sky so that we can kind of be done with that and then kind of move into the detail of the foreground. So I'll just kind of brush on. So it's a really delicate way to apply the pastels. You're basically painting with a brush. You don't want a lot of pressure at this moment, just kind of placing the color on the paper. You can go back. This is erasable. And what I use these gum erasers. I'm not sure exactly what they're called, but you can kind of get it down to a nice point, right? And kind of go to the edge and clean up any of the edges. And I'll show you when I do that in a little bit. We are far too at the beginning stages to really care about that. So I know that this does dull down the ink in the background. I do like the soft effect that it gives. Let's see. Right, you can get pretty detailed. We'll move in some other colors here and just kind of play with things. It's nice to go a little bit lighter than what you were originally maybe thinking. You can also always build upon that. You may want to have a air gun. I use my mouth, just make sure that you're not spitting on your work, but it is kind of nice to get rid of kind of that excess because that will spread around and you'll be able to use that, kind of drag it, you know, if you have excess, you can kind of drag it around. But we don't really need a lot of that right now. So, all right, I think you kind of get the gist of this. Yeah, so we'll speed things up here and see when we're done coloring it in. Okay, so now that we have finished kind of coloring in the tree, just kind of a base color, we are going to work in the foreground. We may work in the mountains here, and then with the green grass, finish off the tree here, and then we're going to be done. I might leave the sky blank in case I want to write any words in there, and can finish it off at another point. But yeah, so here we go.